Die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die. Lose hope when everything's cold and the fire.
Sean, we can't hear it. You started playing Legends Never Die, but we can't hear it. There you go. Thank you.
But you'll never see the price it cost. The scars collected all of their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and avenge defeat. Before it all starts, they suffer through harms to touch your dream. Whoa, pick yourself up, guys. Legends never die. Legends never die. Legends never die. Legends never die. Legends never die.
Are you a legend? You'll never die.
The world is calling out your name.
Begging you to fight. Pick yourself up once more. Pick yourself up, guys. Legends never die.
Legends never die.
Microphone, please.
Can you hear me now? Testing 1, 2, 3. Yep, good. Can you all hear me? Awesome. So, welcome back. Welcome back. Turn that up a little bit. Hey, we're wrapping it up. This is the last session. I kind of feel sad. I don't want it to end. Day 3, last session. Workbook is up, 111 pages. You may not want to print it all off. Day 3 section is up. That's 20 some pages. Wow. I was talking with Amber and Daniela a little bit during the lunch, and I just was so proud of them and all that they did and how they did it and what they did and all of that stuff. It's just absolutely incredible. So I really want to say thank you to everybody who's been here, all of you, the participants. But I need you to hang in there just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. Hang in there just a little bit longer. So here's how we put the bow on it. I want you to think of these 3 things. Maybe you can create a column, because you're going to be in all of these areas. You're going to be in one of these 3 groups in a variety of areas. And so the first group I want you to create, the first thing I want to talk to you about is the seed sower, right? When we talk about Jim Rohn, the birds, the story of the seeds and the sower. The sower of seeds. So you may be in this, in some areas, you may be the trailblazer. That's the other category we're going to wrap this up in. And the third one is visionary / master builder. And some of you already have a vision in some areas of your life. Some areas you're the trailblazer. Some areas you're the seed sower. So the first one I want to have a conversation with you on is the seed sower. You're kind of beginning your journey in this particular area. And as you begin your journey, you're starting to move forward. It indicates that there's a beginning, and yet there's this underlying strength. Could you imagine somebody who's going to go sow some seeds? And you're going to go sow some seeds. And as you go sow some seeds, there's an intention inside of you, right? There's an intention that I'm going to go plant some seeds, and eventually I'm going to come back and be able to have part of the harvest. So there's a strength, there's a commitment when you sow seeds. And this is what you hold in your hands, is the seed of immense potential. Remember the box? Remember we started off the very first day we started off with the triangle and we started off with the box. What's the top left-hand corner of the box say? Type it in the chat. What's the top left-hand corner of the box say? Right? Potential. What is your potential? As a seed sower, what is your potential? So here's what I know about seed sowers. Sometimes they feel a little bit timid. If you're going to go sow seeds and you've only got a little plot of land it's that big, how many seeds can you sow in a little plot of land that big? Oftentimes, we do the story of the man and the fish. See this ruler? See this bag of seeds? I use this ruler because anything bigger than that, it doesn't fit in my pan. How many seeds can you sow? Don't let the size of your hand determine the number of seeds that you can carry. So what would you decide? What would you, type it in the chat. Somebody type in the chat. Where would you put this energetic seeds? Where would you store your seeds? Right? Would you store them in ideas and thoughts and energies and frequencies? You want to know where you can store some seeds? You want to know how you would have an unending source of seeds? If you'd want an unending source of seeds, nod your head like this. Watch this, watch this. You ready? You ready? You want an unending source of seeds? Close your eyes and reach out. I got seeds. Say it. I got seeds. Say it. I got seeds, baby. I cross it over. Corpus callosum seeds. I got seeds. And you stack them in your heart. So every great journey begins with what? The first step. You've already taken that. As part of the 3 days, which was pretty intense. I don't know too many free courses that give you a 111-page workbook. See, I'm a little bit over the top. I'm a little bit under promise, over deliver. But in this journey of self-discovery, I want it to lead to one thing. Even as a seed sower, you're going to have a purpose-driven payday. Even as the seed sower that you're going on this journey, you're going to have a purpose-driven payday. And what is your purpose? What's your purpose as a seed sower? Pay attention. What's your purpose as a seed sower? To sow seeds. Your purpose as a seed sower isn't to go harvest. Could you imagine? I'm now a rancher. We planted some stuff in a little garden. Some of you saw the garden when you were here at the ranch. Right? I'm now a chickener. Is that what you call somebody who raises chickens? A chickener? Rancher, farmer, chickener, sheeper. So I'm these things. The chickens aren't old enough to lay eggs. Why am I not out there going, what's the deal? What's the dealio? Why are you guys eating all my food, scratching all my grass? You're not laying any eggs. There's a season. Jim Rohn talks about a season. And some of you are in the season of seed sowing. So if your purpose-driven payday is to sow seeds, is it about how many seeds you can sow, right? Jim Rohn, go back to the Jim Rohn. Sometimes you'll throw it on the rocks. Sometimes you'll throw it in the soil and the soil will be shallow. They'll rise up and they'll die. And the favorite line that everyone loves about Jim, you'll throw the seeds out and sometimes the birds will get some. Your job is to do what? sow the seeds. Find the fertile ground. As a seed sower, and if you're beginning in the seed sowing business, sometimes you don't know what fertile ground is. How many of you have talked to people who said they were fertile ground, that you were going to pour into them and they were going to help you go build their business? I'm going to help you build your business. I'm going to be a client. I'm going to be the best client you've ever had. I'm going to be the best mentor. I'm going to be the best teacher. And you sowed your seeds into them of faith, of courage, and it didn't come back. You didn't get any harvest. I want you to type, if you're going to go sow seeds in this world, what would be some of the things you would look for in your harvest? Could it be a smile? Could you sow the seed of a smile and watch how fast it comes back? See, Jim Rohn said it best. We don't know the gestation period of a good idea. Some of you are planting some pretty big seeds. I want to have a six-figure income. I want to have a healthy, happy relationship. I want this disease in my body to go away. Isn't getting healthy planting a seed? Yes or yes? Isn't relationships planting a seed? Some of you have been planting this in the South. It's called kudzu. And it is a vine that will take over everything. And it kills off everything. It looks nice and green unless you were trying to grow the tree that it's underneath. So as you begin this journey as a seed sower, I want you to be aware of some things. I want you to start, and this is all in the workbook. This is all in the workbook. Do you think of the three categories, seed sower, trailblazer, and visionary, do you think their addiction to approvals are different? Didn't say they didn't have them, but is a seed sower addicted to something different than a visionary would be? So as you begin to grow and as you begin to go to sow seeds, my first question to you is, as a seed sower, what situations would you seek approval? Can I let you in on a little secret? You ready? You ready? You ready? Ready? Lean in just a little bit. You ready? When you go have a conversation with somebody, a prospect, a client, a potential business partner, aren't you sowing your seeds into their thoughts? I wonder if they're going to like me. I wonder if I'm going to do any good. I wonder if this product works. I wonder if this is that. And you're constantly not putting fertilizer on your seeds. You're putting a pesticide. You're putting procrastination. You're putting a germicide. You're literally giving them dead seed. And we wonder why it don't grow. How many people in your life expect you to grow dead seeds? Addiction to approval. And you're trying to, how many of you are trying to grow their dead seeds looking for their approval? Look at what I did with your crop. Or you could say, look what I did with your crap. Dr. Freud to the lobby, Dr. Freud to the lobby. Here's what something you're going to want to do as a seed, as sower, is set some personal boundaries. Your personal boundaries, understand that it's okay to say, type it in the chat, no, not right now. I want you to practice mental toughness. Do you think a seed sower needs to practice a different level of mental toughness than a trailblazer or a visionary? My answer is, oh, heck yeah. Because I have to get up every morning and sow the seed. I got to get up every morning and sow the seed. I got to get up every morning and sow the seed. I got to get up every morning and sow the seed. I got to get up every morning and sow the seed. I got to get up every morning and sow the seed. This isn't I'm not stuck. This isn't a glitch. So how is your mental toughness to go sow seed? How many of you have said, I'm going to do a video every day? You get excited about a challenge. You get excited about it. I'm going to join a 14-day challenge. Most amazing thing a buddy of mine did, 14-day challenge. 117 days. Now here's the challenge. Here's the challenge. How long does it take day one seed to produce a result? Is 117 better than day one? Is the seed that you planted the 117th seed that you planted? I got a question for you. Anybody ever buy a cantaloupe at the store and open a cantaloupe up for fruit? Drop a C in the chat if you've ever opened up a cantaloupe. I'm curious. I don't know that I ever really liked cantaloupe. Maybe I didn't have them as fresh as I'm having them now. We never grew cantaloupe on the farm, but I'm like addicted to cantaloupe. So when I open it up, I'm blown away by God's ability to plant seeds. It gets me emotional. I open up a cantaloupe and I cry. How much faith does God have in me to give me how many? Do you think there's more than 117 seeds in a cantaloupe? Have you ever counted them? I'm going to make that a Mason mission, is to count the seeds in a cantaloupe. They're nice and protected. How many of your seeds? Listen, this is great. I love this. This is a download that's happening right now. So this isn't Memorex. This is live. Your seed is protected by your fruit, which is protected by your shell. You know why it's sometimes hard to sow our seeds? The cantaloupe's got to get a little vulnerable for me to see its seeds. It's got to let me in, and I get in there with a sharp knife. Some of us, you're welcome. Some of us, the sharp knife in our life is called agitation. We're just trying to get to your seeds. Here's the challenge. Here's the challenge. You ready? Here's the big challenge. How many people who want to sow their seeds only have one seed? The seed of doubt. It's a whole bag full, but they carry one around. They're afraid to give it away. They talk and speak and desire abundance, but as a seed sower, where are all your seeds stored? I got my seeds coming. I got my seeds coming. Yeah, an avocado is one big seed. Why is it such a big seed? And then the seed is actually inside the seed. There's the pit and the seed and all of this stuff, and then you stick toothpicks in it and you stick it in water and you hope it grows. It's a big seed. Why is it a big seed? Because it's going to have a big result. I just absolutely get so emotional. I look at that cantaloupe seed and I go, how many cantaloupes are in this seed? And the cantaloupe I have that's got seeds in it came from a seed that came from a cantaloupe that held a whole bunch of seeds that came from a seed that came from a whole bunch of seeds in a cantaloupe that came from a seed. You know how many thousands and thousands of cantaloupe are in that seed? Tell me there's no God. Come on, I dare you. Tell me there's no God. Tell me there's no creator. Tell me there's no source that says, I can put 1 trillion seeds inside that one.
Bonus.
So my question to you is, how many seeds are inside of you? How many seeds are inside of you that need some light? How many of you have heard of sprouting seeds? Right? You see people sprouting them, and you get sprouts on your vegetables, on your salad, and they're delicious. Sprouts are so nutritious. Does anybody know how absolutely powerful the nutrition is and the energy is in a sprout? It's huge. It's huge, the nutritional value in a sprout. Because it's all of the concentrated that just came out. Anyways, so you're a seed sower. So here's some more questions for seed sowing. Well, actually, let me continue here with the book. Your definite major purpose as a seed sower is going to be different than a definite major. Some people are putting their definite major purpose out as a visionary, and it needs to be a seed sower version. Your self-talk, regularly take note of your self-talk. Replace it with positive. In the moment, replace it with positive. In the moment, replace it with positive. In the moment, understand what it's doing, where it's doing, and how it's doing it. Keep a journal. It says here in the notes I put, keep a win journal. Remember when I asked you, write down the 500 things that you've done well? Imagine if you kept a win journal. This journal right here, it's a nice journal. This has got all of my win quotes. Giant vision, humble actions. Giant vision, humble act. If your happiness depends on what's happening outside of you, you will always be a slave. So here's some questions you may want to ask yourself as a seed sower. And again, these are all in the workbook. I'm just going through this for those of you watching the video, watching the replay, maybe haven't downloaded the workbook, why it would be valuable to download the workbook. What are your core values as a seed sower? What are your core values? When do you find yourself seeking approval from others as a seed sower? What challenges do you face today and how will you overcome them? What archetype do you resonate with most as a seed sower? This is why statistically, network marketing is made up of a majority of the female brain because they're seed sowers. They know what it's like to give birth. They know what it's like to give life to something. So it might be the lover that you resonate with most. Most don't resonate. Most, it's not the queen who is the archetype that they're going to go build their business. Hey, listen, I found something that's pretty cool. I think you would get some benefit too. Will you want to hear about it? That's the lover. As you become an ignorance on fire is your magician. I don't know how I did it. Magic. It was magical my first 30 days in my business. So what archetype are you sitting in? And pay attention even as you go through your day. How does your self-talk affect your daily actions and your emotions, right? Emotions create motion. If you're sad, you're probably not going to go run a race. There's a young gentleman who's part of our community, and he was asked by somebody saying, so if you get sad, what do you do? He said, I go play basketball. Because he's learned that the bottom of the triangle, physiology, you want to change your state, you need three things: physiology, focus, language, and meaning. As a seed sower, what are your unique traits? What are your unique traits and abilities that you can use from your secret sauce? Your secret sauce is, I want to be able to connect with people. I want to have good information. I want to be able to be kind. I want to be generous. Trailblazer, you got to be able to cut through the crap. Visionary, you got to be able to see things that others don't see. Seed sower, those aren't the traits necessarily that you can use from your secret sauce yet. What are the boundaries? What are the boundaries that you need to set? How many of you are concerned about your health, your physical health? How many of you are concerned about your mental health? Now, this isn't about, oh my gosh, I think I'm slipping. I'm catching the old timers disease, or I'm doing this. Your mental health is literally right now. Do you do omega-3s in the proper ratio, 600, 400, DEA, EPA? Are you using turmeric to help with inflammation? Don't wait. See, the thing about the old timers, right? The old timers memory challenge is that it shows up in the brain 20 years before it ever shows up physically. Something to think about, So what are your boundaries, not only for your health? Do you get enough sleep? As a seed sower, you want to be walking when it's not 90 degrees or 116 degrees out. So maybe you got to get up a little early in the morning and set that routine, make that become part of your seed sowing day. Because once you move to Trailblazer, you can't stop sowing seeds. Once you move to Visionary, you can't stop trailblazing and sowing seeds. So it's got to be a part of your routine continuously. Seed sower, Trailblazer, Visionary. How do you apply your secret sauce to your DMP? How will I know when I'm ready to transform from seed sower to Trailblazer? Because when you turn around, the seeds have grown into this mass forest of opportunity. Isn't that why you're planting seeds, to have opportunity? Drop an O in the chat if you now understand, and you've always known, but you drop seeds, you plant seeds so you can create opportunity. When do you move from seed sower to trailblazer? When you have to blaze a trail through all of the opportunity that you have. How do you make yourself aware of opportunity? You got to have the seed sown. You got to be looking around. Is it possible for you to go from where you are right now into trailblazing mode? Yes, this is why most people struggle. They go from right here, and they go into trailblazing. They go into recruiting. They go into, I'm going to go post and I'm going to put a call to action and nobody likes my stuff. Why? Because you don't have the efficacy. You don't have the je ne sais quoi of a seed sower. Most people you're going to go talk to, the first step they can be is a seed sower. But you're coming at them as a trailblazer. Join me as a trailblazer. You should do this. Oh my gosh, this would be so good. Oh, we're going to make a whole bunch of money. There's 17 ways in the comp plan. You got to do this and you got to do that. You should be doing this. You hold up the sign. You should be here. That's trailblazer, baby. And you're talking to seed sowers. Could you imagine you wanted to go raise chickens and you wound up at the Cattlemen's Association barn? And all you hear them is talking about how much feed they give their animals. And you're going, you give them 40 pounds of food a day for chickens? You're like, what the hell kind of chickens are you growing? The reason I tell you this story is because this happened to my dad. He came down to Texas. We were living in Ohio at the time, and he came down to Texas, and we was looking for some cattle. We wanted to get some calves. We got 40 bottle feeding calves. The first cows we ever got were 40 bottle feeding calves. Are you nuts? Didn't know no better. But as he's in Texas, he comes back and tells me the story later on. I was still a child when he went down there. I was probably 10, 11, so it wouldn't have made sense. But later on, I heard the story, and it went like this, went something like this. He's at the bar, and he's listening to cowboys. Now, my father was born and raised in New York, bought a farm in Ohio, and he's a farmer now, including the flight, about 3 hours and 72 seconds. And he winds up going down to Texas to get some cattle, going to the King Ranch, right? It's kind of the Yellowstone version that you see in Texas, the King Ranch. And he's at the hotel where all of the cattlemen are. And he's listening to him talk about, well, I got 7 and I got 8 and I got 10. And my dad's confusing it with acres. Who knows what they're talking about? Type it in the chat. Who knows what they're talking about? I got 6, I got 3, I got 8. They're talking about sections, parcels. They're talking about sections, and it's 640 acres in a section. So if I got 2 sections, I got 1,280 acres. Well, my dad doesn't know a section from a C-section. So he's sitting there and they go, well, what are you doing here? Well, I'm looking to get some cattle. He's feeling pretty proud because we own 100 acres. And they said, well, how many do you have? And he said, 100. They go, where the hell do you live? That's 6,000 acres in their minds. He said, well, we live in Ohio. He goes, you must own the whole damn state. He said, I don't think it's that much. Well, now you're just bragging. He never realized till later on, after he left that conversation. How many of you have left a conversation because one of you didn't know what the other one was talking about? This is what happens when you're a seed sower talking to a trailblazer, or a trailblazer talking to a seed sower. There's just, I got it. I kind of get it. It's kind of like Puerto Rican Spanish and Mexican Spanish versus Spain Spanish. There's a little bit of a difference. Hola is hola, but juja, right, is the rest. So how will you know when you're ready to transform from seed sower to trailblazer? You have created opportunities that you can begin to harvest. You're in the middle of opportunities where you know that needs to go away. So here's some things here's some questions that you're going to need to tackle as a seed sower. Some emotions that'll come up. How many of you sometimes are faced with emotions that come up? Right? This is again in your workbook. Curiosity. A seed sower is curious. What if all of a sudden your prospecting went from, do you make as much money as you want? Do you have as much free time as you want? How many of you have ever been prospected with that line before? Wow, you're a business owner. Do you have as much free time as you like? What business do you own?
Always, and in every field and every industry.
Everything, right? So what if the seed sower, what if you became the professional seed sower and said, what would your day look like if you had some extra free time? I know you probably don't know what it is, but I'm sure you have dreams about it. What would be your dream day if you were able to create the same income, have the same income, hold on to it, or maybe even grow it? What would extra time, free time look like when you're throwing that seed out there? How many of you are old enough to have been to the airport and had a Krishna try to give you the little red flower? Here, this is just a gift. And here's the book. If you'd like to pay for it, here's the book. You know, do you know that they give that, and because the forced law of reciprocity, do you know what one Krishna would do? Is they would go within 100 feet to every garbage can and pick the rose back out, pick the flower back out, because that's the first thing you're going to do. You will take it and then throw it away. How many of you have taken some good nuggets and you're looking for the trash can of life to throw them away? So curiosity is going to be hope. Hope, we heard that earlier. The Queen of Hope gave us that earlier, right? What's your potential as a seed sower? Overwhelm. Overwhelm is going to show up as a seed sower. When you realize the inventory of seeds that you haven't sown yet. How many of you have some seeds you haven't sown yet? Just curious. Just curious. Are they starting to go bad? How many of you have ever taken that strawberry out of the basket and went, what happened to Cousin Fuzz? Courage, you're going to need courage as a seed sower. Excitement, relief. Whew, I planted a lot today. So those are the conversations for seed sower. So from seed sower to trailblazer, you've navigated through the early stages of seed sowing, of self-exploration, of planting your own seeds, taking bold strides. How many of you have ever, what would happen if all of a sudden you started throwing seeds and somebody said, don't plant that on my property? You'd be like, oh, sorry. You understand the significance of consistency. You have a certain set of requirements as a trailblazer. Seed sower, you're not yet, until you get started and get into it, you're not sure what good fertile ground looks like. What's the best way to plant a seed? Just throw it on the top, or throw it on the top and scratch it under some dirt. Sometimes you got to scratch some people to get the seed to take root. Trailblazer is that you already know how to do that. You can almost do that with your eyes closed. There's some certain things you do right now. It's called habitual actions. Well, when you find your secret sauce and you go from seed sower to trailblazer, you now have a new set of rules that you work under. Trailblazing, why would you go blaze a trail? Seed sowing, you're just planting seeds. Trailblazing, why would you go blaze a trail? What are you hoping happens with the trail? Type it in the chat. What are you hoping happens with the trail? If you're going to go blaze a trail, aren't you hoping somebody walks on it, follows you, uses it? So if you're going to go blaze a trail, what's that thing we say about leadership? What's the definition of leadership? It's when you go out and start walking, people begin to follow you. Otherwise, you're just somebody out for a walk. There's a lot of people who are leaders. If they ever turned around, they'd be by themselves. I like the comment that for the recording, just put in the chat. I use what I cut down to help build. And if you're cutting down enough, if you're blazing a trail enough, doesn't it make sense that you're going to teach? Maybe some people want to be builders in life. and you give them a chance to build. Some people might want to be planters, seed sowers in life. And after you cut down and expand, maybe they want to seed and harvest right there. Can you give seed sowers a new path, a new place to go plant seeds? Not everybody's going to be a trailblazer. The hell are they doing back there planting seeds? Get your ass up here. What are you planting seeds for? I'm a seed sower. This is the trailblazing path. That's why some people's organizations come and they go, and they sponsor 3 and 4 leave, and they sponsor 3 and 4 leave. So you keep your eyes on the horizon, because when you're blazing the trail, it's head down. You're not in the grind, because if you're in the grind, you're a good bait for the seed sower. Your head down, but every now and then you got to climb the tree. What would be, as a trailblazer, what would be the proverbial tree that you would need to climb? When you climb the tree, are you trailblazing? Or do you climb the tree for vision? Do you climb the tree for meditation? Do you climb the tree for planning? And if it's the tallest tree, Doug just typed the tallest tree, is that going to take more energy to get to the top? How many of you aren't recharging your batteries? Your phone has a better charge in it than your spirit and your soul. Ooh, snap. So now that you're a trailblazer, so here's some questions for a trailblazer. Biggest thing for a trailblazer? Seed sowers out there just being la-di-da and doing some stuff, and you're really not engaged with people. If a trailblazer, listen carefully, if you're the trailblazer and all of a sudden you're the one leading the path, you're making the charge, you're putting the thing forward, you're using your secret sauce as a trailblazer, there's going to be people around you.
Bonus whip, it's static.
Is static in or no static?
Yeah, static a little bit.
Not sure why that comes and goes, but it's an opportunity for me to slow down. How about now? Is it all better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So addiction to approval is one of the biggest challenges for a trailblazer. When you go to build your business, let's say you're going to go build a network marketing company, and you're going to go build an organization. When you go to build that organization, who are you looking for? Are you looking for seed sowers, trailblazers? You're going to get the most out of trailblazers, but you need seed sowers. And so now we're like, well, how do I train my team? How do I train my team? How do I train my team? How do I get them to be, how do I turn a seed sower into a trailblazer? You do not. They have to. The challenge is they don't know when they don't know that the next phase is a trailblazer. Some of you are around with the ranch here, but watching me take pictures. How many of you have ever seen the larvae, the pupa of a ladybug? I am so grateful they are not 9 feet tall. They would rule the world. They are the scariest. That there is no way that a pupa of a ladybug turns into a ladybug. The horns on those things, how are you going to turn into a cute ladybug? So I teach a formula, CQCE, clarify, qualify, create expectation. How do you get a seed sower to turn into a ladybug? Dr. Freud to the lobby. Dr. Freud to the lobby. Stat. The way you turn a seed sower into a trailblazer is you ask them, you give them the idea, you throw the dart way out there. What does trailblazing look like to you? Let them know they're on a journey. Larry Thompson, it's called the Thompson rule. You can write this down in your book. 80, 15, and 5. Of the organization, of all of the people that you're going to go have, of the organization you're going to build, it's going to be 80, 15, and 5. And that can convert to what we're talking about here right now. 80% are going to be seed sowers, and they're going to sow 3 seeds every 6 years. Guess what they get to call themselves? I'm a seed sower. 80% of your organizations, and here's what happens. You're going to spend all of your time with the 80% going, you need to become visionaries. Have you ever known a seed sower to tell a non-truth? I'm a visionary. You're a seed sower. I'm a visionary. You're a seed sower. I'm a visionary. What do you do all day? Sow seeds. That's not a visionary. But I want to be a visionary. Well, then you got to start doing visionary actions. But they don't want to do that. So that's 80% of your organization. Then let's move up to trailblazers. That'll be about 15%. The Thompson rule, about 15% will be trailblazers. And what do trailblazers want to be? Visionaries. I'm a visionary. You're a trailblazer. But I'm a visionary. You're a trailblazer. What do you do all day? I blaze trails. You're a trailblazer. What is the self-talk of a trailblazer versus the self-talk of a visionary? Versus the self-talk of a seed sower? What's the self-talk of a healthy person versus an average person versus a sick person? It's the same thing. You got seed sowers who in wellness world, and you got seed sowers who are well, and you got, listen, I want to be 205 pounds with 12% body fat. That's my vision, but I'm a fat guy. I'm not the 13% body fat. I'm glad it's not triple digits. So the 5% are the visionary, and we'll get to how there's even 80, 15, and 5 inside each group. So what are the 4 archetypes for the trailblazer? They're the same: the sovereign, the lover, the magician, and the warrior. If the first thing a trailblazer needs to be aware of is addiction to approval, what might be the first archetype that they come across? Tell me I'm not good enough. You're not good enough. This would be so good for them. I don't know why they don't get it. They don't get it because you suck at giving. Wait, what? They don't get it because you're not so good at giving. It's because your warrior's saying, you should do this. That's called injected values. You should do this. Should do what? I'm not going to do what you do. How many of you do so well, do so much, do it so hard that somebody goes, man, ain't no way in God's green acres I'll ever do that. And if that's what I got to do to go get it, how many people do you know? This is funny. This just came in. How many of you know people who are trailblazing with a butter knife? It's a leaf. Why are you taking 6 hours to cut it? Well, my butter knife, I got the best damn butter knife on the planet. This is a Swarovski butter knife, or however you say the crystal. Swarovski. Am I close? I'm close. I know SWY is in there. Swarovski, right? Waterford.
Swarovski.
Yeah, that
Swarovski.
one. Swarovski. I got a Swarovski butter knife. I don't care how much you paid for it. I don't care how much you paid for your training. I don't care how many events you went to. You're using a damn butter knife. Because you haven't taken time to what? What could you do to a butter knife? You could sharpen it. How many of you have ever gone to an event? How many of you ever bumped into a mentor who said, why are you trying to sharpen your knife with a feather wheel? Well, I don't like sparks. I don't like friction. Give me your damn knife. Give it to me. Let me show you what it's capable of. No, that's my identity. My butter knife is my identity. I'm a world-class trailblazer. How far have you gone? Well, I started there last year. You mean like right behind you? Well, this was actually cut by somebody else. I found it. How many of you are on somebody else's path that they blazed and they just went for lunch and you're like, look how far I came? I have a phrase. It's that phrase that I say, they thought that they were born on third base and thought they hit a triple. There's some people I know in life personally who are standing on third base, thought they hit a triple, and they were born there. Some of you that are listening to this have walked down somebody else's trail, and you're saying, look what I did. And people can absolutely hear in your words, you didn't sweat one drop. So what's the secret sauce of a trailblazer? It's about redefining and deepening the seed sower, continuing to explore. Now you're literally exploring. You better hope there's a seed sower in your organization. Because if all you're doing is cutting down stuff, the law of reciprocity says, I got to take away stuff from you unless you're replanting. How do you do that as a trailblazer? You bring people on the journey with you. You teach them how to blaze a trail. You teach them how to grow. You teach them how to seed. You got to have those skills. So here's some questions. What are the unique contributions you bring to the trailblazing in your field? Some of you are insurance salespeople. Some of you are business owners. Some of you are spouses. Some of you are moms. Some of you are dads. That's your trailblazing field. Some of you are grandmas taking care of kiddos. What's your trailblazing? What do you commit to the trailblazing? I can't even begin to imagine what it would be like to grow 2, let alone 3 youngins. One's enough. It's not enough, but it sure seems like enough. It sure, oof. So what is the contributions of seed sower? What are the contributions of a trailblazer to your field? How many times have we heard just invite? Is that trailblazing or seed sowing? That's seed sowing. Just invite. When they show up, you better have room for them to sit down, which means you got to blaze the trail. How have you evolved in your journey from seed sower to trailblazer? What are the goals that have emerged as you started trailblazing? How many of you have ever driven on the road and you said, who designed this? Especially here in Arkansas, that you never fill anything to the rim in Arkansas because 3.2 seconds, somebody's taking a curve and it's going to slosh right out. Any of you ever drive in Texas? You ever see how the roads go in Texas? Do you know literally how the roads in Texas got paved? Over cow paths. Literally, when you see F to M, when you see FM 128, you know what that stands for? Farm to market. It's literally the path they herded the cows down. FM 121, that's farm to market. So as a trailblazer, you may not want to be a quarry engineer. So if there's a mountain ahead, you're either going to go over it, under it, or around it. You ain't got time to go through it. Maybe you hire an archaeologist. They become part of your organization. I'm going that way. You start digging here. And there's going to be people who love to dig. Listen, all I did was dig. What did you produce? I produced a lot of dirt. That's all they want to do. Give a digger a chance to be a digger, and they can go dig. How can I better balance, right? And trailblazing takes some energy. Seed sowing, you may get a sore wrist, right? You can switch, right? Swinging an axe, though, takes a little bit more. Digging up roots takes a little bit more. How can I balance the energies of the 4 archetypes in my leadership as a trailblazer? Think about this for a second. What would it be like for the lover to be a trailblazer? What would it be like for the lover to be a seed sower? Hey, thank you. Sending out texts every day. How many of you have sent texts out since we started here? And you sent texts out going, I love you. That's your lover being a seed sower. You've already been doing this. This is why, oh my gosh, I didn't know it. Now we got a label on it. Now I know I can do more of it. What would it be like for your warrior to be a seed sower? Think of that one for a second. What would your warrior be like to be a seed sower? How many of you have ever planted tomatoes? What do you got to put in next to a tomato as it's growing? You got to put a stake. Guess what your warrior could do? Pound in the stakes for the seeds others are growing. What if your warrior could build a little fence around somebody who's got their little tiny garden, their little business going? They're just so nervous and they're so afraid, and they're afraid people are going to see them and the wind's going to blow down their tomatoes. And oh my gosh, is the storm's going to be too heavy? What if your warrior came and built a castle for them? See, your warrior can be a seed sower. I don't know why I want to cry saying that, but your warrior can be a seed sower. So as a trailblazer, you need to check in on your energy. So you're constantly going to be using when people show up on your trail going, can we walk on your trail? That's got to be your sovereign. Got to have that conversation, because you don't want your warrior going, no. I just want to, I like the way you swing. Both your axe and your hips. I like the way you swing it. I like the way you swing. Right? So all of a sudden you might want your sovereign to respond. Welcome to the kingdom. Y'all say that. Welcome to the kingdom. There's a song, isn't it? Welcome to the kingdom. The king. It's anyways, I heard that in my head, some kind of song says that. How do you cope with the pressure of constant visibility and high expectations? How many times has somebody come to you and said, how's that little side gig of yours? How many of you ever been asked, how much money have you earned? High expectations. How do you cope with that? Who responds with that? The warrior? Boom! That's probably not the best response. In what ways can you innovate and reinvent your business while maintaining your current model? If Heather was on here, that question sounds like it was designed just for her. How do you reinvent while maintaining?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, very well. Why do you ask? In what ways can you continue to re-innovate? And next question. How do you continue to, here's a big one. You can ask Daniela to be this. She's the poster child. How do you stay resilient in the face of obstacles and challenges? You all are the poster children for this. No, but how many people say, I don't know how you do what you do? And you're like, what else is there? Isn't that the warrior responding? Isn't that the nice, kinder, gentler warrior? How are you doing what you're doing? Well, I ain't got no choice. That's the warrior. What would your lover say?
Bonus time.
Thank you for noticing. See, because if your warrior steps up, if your warrior stands in, oh, Jane, I love you. How the hell what else am I supposed to do? I wasn't given another choice. Yeah, you kind of were. But you took this on as the sovereign. You took it on as the sovereign, and you're defending it as the warrior. Bonus time. I love you, Jane. I want to play poker with you. Y'all get this? How has your self-talk evolved throughout your journey? Man, listen to this. Do you think a trailblazer would ever say this? Sowing seeds was easy. Sowing seeds were easy. I should go back to seed sowing. Guess what? You just lost all your opportunities. Because if you go back to seed sowing after you've been trailblazing, how many of the seeds you're about to sow have already taken root? Somebody else has already harvested all the seeds. That's why you planted them. It's called starting over. It's called burnout. What if all of a sudden you were able to manage, maintain, motivate, inspire? There's no more burnout. There's no more burnout. How do you avoid burnout? You advance. Don't regress, you advance. You're QLQing, constantly using quantum linguistic questions. Man, I'm a trailblazer. You know how I'm going to teach. How many of you have got some good lessons you could teach trailblazers, but you can't teach a trailblazer while you're trailblazing? Because all you got to do is keep trailblazing. You stop trailblazing, you become a has-been trailblazer. Let me let that one sink in, because that one's for me. It's why I started this call, because I was a has-been network marketer. I was a has-been industry leader when I didn't have an organization. When I came out of the corporate field, I went from the field, big field, to corporate, big responsibility, no team. So when you leave the corporate world, when you have the entire world as your team, but every trailblazer says, what if you were the one who owned all the land all the trailblazers were on? That's the corporate. You got to make sure all the lands are fertile. You're not trailblazing one damn thing, but you're making there's water, the shipping is in place. You're making sure everybody's got a sharp axe, the commission plan works. You're making sure that you're giving people opportunities to hear the stories so that they can keep, trailblazers are not presenters. But you get trailblazers who go into management mode. Let me show you how to sharpen an axe. Have you worn an axe out yet? No, I haven't even taken the wrapper off mine, but I know how to sharpen an axe. What? I'm sorry, what? So I went from trailblazer, visionary, leader, seed sower, from the field perspective, from everybody who's in the field to the guy sitting in the White House. The guy sitting with all of the pillars and the big pillars in the front and the big grandeur, the big plantation house. And I'd get out and I'd get on a plane and I'd show up and I'd meet all of the trailblazers and I'd go, you guys are doing good. He doesn't know a damn thing we're doing. You're wrong. Because I wasn't wearing trailblazer outfits.
Bonus time.
I wasn't standing on trailblazer paths. I was standing in the arena they had cut for gatherings. And now all of a sudden, even though I had swung 2 axes, both hands, even though I would get in the trenches with the trailblazers for 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time and help them rebuild their organization, you were never a trailblazer as long as you had a title of corporate. How many of you are holding on to a title that's keeping you from being your trailblazer, from keeping you from being your visionary? I'm a mom. That's a title. You're a human being. I'm an insurance person. I'm a practitioner of medicine. You are the entire package. You have the ability to blaze trails. You have the ability to vision. You have the ability to seed. But when your DMP gets in place, all of those are the paragraphs of the page of your success. Too many of us are worrying about the punctuation in a sentence and not building the page of our chapter. This is about chapter building, book writing. So how is your self? Thank you. How is your self-talk evolved through your journey? And how can you remain empowering? You listen, you play. Here's the challenge. How many of us think when we get to visionary, woo, boy, this air conditioning's good, baby. Dang, where's all my, this is called management role. That's not called visionary. Where are all my trailblazers? You go. I couldn't do this without you. I couldn't do this without you. I couldn't do this without you. And what are they saying? You damn Skippy. Which locks them into what? Thinking they can only be the one who helps you get ahead. This is all about your language. Physiology, focus, language, and meaning. I said it earlier. I don't know where it is. Oh, it was in here. It was big. It was big for me. Great vision, humble actions. If you're going to say, I couldn't do this without you, you better damn well know all of their names. They better be up front. If they're not up front taking pictures of you, they ain't on your team.
Bonus time.
If they're not fighting and clawing their way to the front, you got a bunch of trailblazers that'll never amount to anything else than trailblazers because you got them stuck at trailblazer level. Seed sowers ain't even in the room.
I just had a vision of dancing up to the front of the room and then elbowing your way in, but dancing the whole time.
So as a trailblazer, are there ways that you can deepen and expand your secret sauce? How can I inspire and lead others to follow the trail I've blazed? How many of you are so far down the path, they don't know how to get onto the trail? It's called social media. Social media is your breadcrumbs to the trail, to your program. Social media are the breadcrumbs to your program, which are your breadcrumbs to your course. Social media are the breadcrumbs to your program, to your course, to your mastermind. The reason there's not more people here today is because I'm not doing the seed sowing. I'm just telling you, I know it. But there's a part of me that says, when I start seed sowing, I'm so damn good at that, I better have the path, because otherwise I'll be stuck in trailblazing mode. And then I won't, but people are coming because the seeds I'm sowing are visionary seeds. They're visionary seeds. What seeds are you sowing? Are you sowing trailblazing seeds? Are you sowing visionary seeds? Are you sowing seed sower seeds? Are you sowing rotten seeds that when somebody picks them up, you become the infection, not the cure? Are you sowing seeds that cure or seeds that infect? When people get around you, are you the reason for the cure or the reason for the pain? Those are the seeds that you're sowing. And if you're sowing the seeds, you better damn well have your trail getting ready to blaze. You better have a sharp axe. What did Lincoln say? If I got half an hour to 90 minutes to chop down a trail, spend half of it sharpening my axe. Some of you are sharpening your axe on a feather stone. You're sharpening your axe in the air going, oh, look, I'm doing the waving. I'm doing the circling at 45 degrees. I got my knife perfectly pitched on what? On sand. Because it takes some effort to sharpen an axe. How hard is your steel? I'm a trailblazer, but every 5 minutes I got to sharpen my axe. Are you not steeled to go blaze the trail? Listen, I can promise you, your trail you're about to go blaze, there's some big ass trees in it. And it's not that you can go around it. You're going to have to cut some of them down. Some of you have fear and doubt the size of a redwood. I wouldn't go cut down in the world of fear and doubt. I'd wind up in faith and courage. The forest is a little easier to get through. So now all of a sudden, some of the challenges, some of the emotions that you're going to feel as a trailblazer is, how does it feel? Has anybody ever literally chopped down a tree? Anybody ever taken an axe and chopped down a tree? How does it feel when it falls? It's called empowerment, the act of taking stock of the journey, understanding the unique contributions and visualizing to the larger vision, visualizing their larger vision and goals to create a powerful sense of self-efficacy and control over your own destination. When you have your DMP in place, some of you may have a DMP in place that's a visionary DMP, but it includes the steps. The price I will pay for this vision is my trailblazing and my seed sowing. Some people, when I work with them on their DMP, it's I will get the most amazing, the most thread count white robes you have ever seen as a visionary. I will be wearing this toga. How'd you get there? I just arrived. Okay. Who chipped out the stone for your cave? Well, I'm just going to sit outside. Well, the people I bring will come. I think you're going to have a hard time convincing people your vision of arriving is going to be worthwhile. Another emotion a trailblazer will feel is mindfulness, reflecting on their self-talk. You got to listen at the end of the day. What did I do well? What could I have done a little better? Self-talk should show up in there. Man, I really got mad at myself when this. Isn't that fascinating? Huh. Wow, I kind of created that. Congratulations. What you think about and think about, you bring about. Huh, I guess I thought it was them. I thought it was them. 3 fingers pointing back. Challenge is going to be emotion, contemplating on your own innovation, your own resilience, the growth that you might feel challenging as they grapple with your what? Your limitations, your missteps. How many of you have ever used a steak knife or a house knife or a butcher knife and you cut your finger? Why would you do that? That's so stupid. Why would you cut your finger? Because maybe you needed some practice. We heard this morning Daniela's chasing Cello around because he picked up a big knife. Now, what's a big knife? I don't know that it was a sword. A sword is a big knife, but it's called a sword. He picked up a big knife. It's maybe not a plastic knife. Maybe it was a sharp knife. Maybe it was a butter knife. It was a chopping knife. Was his intent to hurt? How many of us have picked up a good tool, didn't know we had it, and we cut ourselves? Sadhguru says, people say, I want a sharp intellect. I want a sharp intellect. I want to be sharp. You're running around like a 3-year-old and you're going to cut yourself. So then what do? You never pick up your intellect again. You never push your limitations as a trailblazer. You go, I guess I'll just be a trailblazer, a sucky trailblazer the rest of my life. Self-talk. Self-talk. Who do you think trailblazers, here's this just hit me. Who do you think trailblazers hang around? Who do you think trailblazers hang around? Oh, they're trailblazers. Is trailblazer the easy part of life or the challenging part of life? It's the challenging. So trailblazers get together. They talking about how cool it is at the Oasis. They talking about how cool it is at the Oasis, or are they complaining how hard the trees are? And what's a question a good trailblazer would ask another good trailblazer? Ask a question. If they're complaining about how hard the trail is, what's a question a trailblazer might ask of the other trailblazer?
Have you sharpened your axe lately?
Oh, well, what do you want to talk about that for? You saying my axe isn't good? You saying my comp plan isn't good? You saying my leader isn't good? You're saying my product isn't good? All I did was ask if you sharpened your axe. And guess what? You get kicked out of the Trailblazer Club. You get kicked out of the Trailblazer Club because you asked them a logical question. Trailblazers don't want to talk about their production. They want to talk about how tired they are. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. How many trees did you cut? Well, I got up about 3. And then I couldn't find my axe because I was at the party last night and I don't know where I left my axe. So it wasn't until about 8 o'clock. Well, doesn't it get dark then? Yeah, and I almost cut my leg off. So I really didn't get anything cut down. But it was a busy day. It was a busy day. It took me like forever to find my axe. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. I'm loving it. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. So now the question is, Here's the next one, inspiration. Imagining how they can inspire and lead others. If you're exhausted, if you went through a day and you had an hour's sleep, 2 hours sleep, if I were to ask your friends who've been around you and you got an hour's sleep, 2 hours sleep, what would they say your mood is going to be tomorrow? Would they know? They're going to go, you look a little tired. No, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. I was a little short on sleep last night. I got about 30 winks, not 40. Maybe it was more like 10. But they're like, they notice your energy, but they're not afraid of you. When you show up, rah, I didn't get any sleep last night. Rah. Are you announcing to the world your bitchiness before they even get started? So gratitude, reflecting on the evolution of the seed sower to the trailblazer and recognizing the growth and achievements can invoke a profound sense of gratitude. What's your list of 500? You've been a seed sower. You've been a bag maker for the seed sower. Do you know there's a bag maker for the seed sower? What kind of return does the bag maker get for the seed sower? Not a whole lot. They're not even in the seed sowing or trailblazing business. Stop yelling at me. There's the bag maker. There's the bag maker who goes, look at the nice bags I make. But I only need a 5-cent bag to hold my $1 seeds. Let me ask you this. If all of a sudden you're sowing visionary seeds, what kind of bag would you have? Just saying. So people could recognize the bag of a visionary seed sower. In this metaphor that we're talking about, what would be the bag of the visionary seed sower? Would it be a strong posture? Would it be a soft posture and voice? Is that the sound of a visionary seed sower? It'd be your sovereign. Exactly. I sow seeds. Get out of my way. Okay, I probably won't even coming back to blaze this trail. So gratitude, reflecting on the evolution of the seed sower to the trailblazer. This is why you do your list of 500, the 500 things you've done well, to see where you've gone from the infant to the youngster, to the teenager, to the adult. To look at your progression and be grateful and filled with gratitude for your ever evolving progression of self. You know what else? What else would the seed sower have? What else would the trailblazer have that the seed sower might not? It's number 5 or number 6, and it's anticipation. Now, a seed sower has anticipation, but how long does it take for a seed to go? A seed to go from seed to plant? But it's not harvest yet. What is a trailblazer doing every time they get on the path? They are harvesting something. They're harvesting weeds. They're harvesting lumber. They're harvesting, maybe they pull roots up to transplant them. Can a trailblazer transplant stuff? Isn't that one of the greatest things, is transplant my joy and love into you? The challenge is if I transplanted from you, if I give you my heart, I only got one. I would encourage you to have things that you're going to transplant: gratitude, grace, love, joy, happiness. I implore you to have an unlimited supply of gratitude. Most people have half a seed of gratitude, and I sure as hell ain't giving it to you. And that's your spouse. That's your spouse. Yeah, I'm happy you're here. Thanks. I put the dishes away. Well, aren't you supposed to? What? I took the garbage out. Oh, should we have a party?
Bonus.
Sometimes all they can do is all they can do. Considering the next step to deepen and expand your secret sauce will likely stir excitement. How many of you are getting excited about your movement to the next level? Stepping fully into your secret sauce, realizing you're going to be doing a lot less paddling under the water and able to stand on the shore and build your castle. Able to find the rock to stand on and build your freedom. So this will likely stir excitement and anticipation for the possibilities that lie ahead, reinforce their passion and enthusiasm for their purpose-driven. Is a trailblazer's purpose-driven payday different than a seed sower's? Yeah, it definitely is. This is why when I teach network marketing, and until somebody's at about 15,000 or plus in their check, you spend 80% of your time seed sowing. 80% of your time seed sowing. Because listen, if one of your crops shows up and one of your seeds turns into a leader, it's got to stand on its own. How long are you going to babysit a redwood? If you realize it's planted on bad soil, you can spend all the time you want. So in answering these questions, you'll elicit a mix of introspective and forward-looking emotions that will propel trailblazers into a self-understanding and a renewed commitment to their purpose and goals. This is all in your workbook. I'm just reading it out of the workbook. So now, welcome to the visionaries. You're at a powerful stage in your entrepreneurial journey where you have weathered the storms, gained wisdom from your experiences, and you're starting to realize the impact of your actions, not just on your life, but on others. Imagine you're a trailblazer and you chop down a tree. Why do you yell timber? Why would a trailblazer yell timber?
So everybody gets out of the way.
Because you could hurt somebody. Have you ever heard of a visionary yelling timber? Because there's no people to warn. There's nothing that will hurt when you sit from a visionary mindset. This is the ideal of a mentor, helping people do things they didn't know they could do. Seed sower, you might say, "Ooh, sorry, I got that on your shoes." Trailblazer, timber, you better get out of the way. Some of you are cutting down some big ass trees. You can't even see where the top of the tree is going to fall. Can't even see where the top of the tree is going to fall. This is a remarkable achievement to reach the visionary level. It reflects your dedication, your resilience, and your potential to reach extraordinary heights. Doug typed it earlier, the tallest tree. Do you think the visionary is sitting down here going, 1, 2, I'm here, I'm a visionary? Some people are 3 inches taller than everybody else, and they're going, I can see forever. Compared to me, you can see a lot farther. I don't know about forever. The visionary stage is one of introspection first. Seek first to understand, then be understood. It's a visionary stage of introspection, of strategic planning, and powerful growth. It's a stage where you fine-tune your direction. Steve Covey says in the 7 Highly Habits of Effective People, we're sure climbing the ladder fast, better make sure it's up against the right wall. The visionary puts it up against the right wall. The trailblazer's going, I got to the top of that ladder, but did you see where it is? Yeah, I know. You fine-tune your direction, align your actions with your higher purpose, your DMP, and powerfully step into your unique secret sauce. You're gearing up to make significant strides, expanding your impact and bringing your vision to life. As a visionary, if your audience is going to be other visionaries, trailblazers, and seed sowers, do you know how to speak to the core of the community? Do you know how to speak to the 80%ers, the seed sowers, to speak to the 15%ers, the trailblazers, and to the 5%ers, the visionaries? You're poised at the precipice, ready to leap into a world of greater influence and prosperity. And as you venture along this path, you'll find that questions and challenges that you face are evolving. Does a visionary get asked, excuse me, where do you sharpen your saw? Oh, I'm sorry, we're visionaries. We don't do that. How many of you have come across people in this industry or in any industry that say, are you at this level? If not, I can't speak to you. This stage requires you to delve deeper into your motivations, reassess your strategies, and refine your approach based upon the wisdom you've accumulated. How many of you are trying to get into your new vision door with your old vision key? You're trying to get into your new vision door. How many of you have ever moved? How many of you have asked for the new key? Some of you aren't asking for your new key. Remember, being a visionary isn't just about forecasting the future, it's about creating it. This isn't about forecasting the future, it's about creating it. You have the power to mold your tomorrow. What's the greatest way to mold your tomorrow? It's one word, begins with G and has a toot in it. You want to mold your tomorrow, it's through gratitude. And as you do this, you'll gain insights and tools you need to do just that. How many of you have ever heard the phrase, drop a 1 in the chat, when the decision is made, providence moves to? Welcome to the transformation, visionaries. Take a deep breath and dive in, knowing that you're fully capable of reaching the heights you envision for yourself. Thrilled to have you on this journey and can't wait to see the remarkable change. Let's begin to create together. Here's some of the visionary actions. Some of you are ready to get out of the chrysalis and start to spread your wings. It's got to be a bigger picture. Visionaries need to paint a vivid picture of the future, a vivid picture of the future. Visionaries need to paint a vivid picture of the future. What do visionaries need to do? Paint a vivid picture of the future. Not just say, I want to make a lot of money. I want to make a lot of money. I want to get to silver. I want to get to gold. I want to get out of my job. I want to get out of my relation. You got to make a clear vision of your future, a DMP. Let's hear it. DMP, 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 DMP. This goes beyond your personal and business goals. It's about the impact you want to have in your community, your industry, and even the world. What does it look like? Write down your vision in detail. How many of you would like, if you moved and you wanted a new house, how many of you would have a bedroom in your house? How many of you would have a master bedroom? Would it be bigger than the one you have? And maybe the same size bed. Would you have new sheets? Would you get a new pillow, or you got a pillow you love? If you got new sheets, what color would the sheets be? What thread count would the sheets be? Would it be the first side? Would it be the first time you put it on? You really got to stretch it around the corner. How many of you can imagine laying down? We haven't even gone to the rest of the house. We haven't even gotten off the sheets of the bed. And some of you don't have your bed sheets listed in your vision. This is why when I teach people to do their dream board, hey, Bob, when I teach people to do their dream board, if you have a new house, you got to write a 1,000-word story about the house. And part of that would be the thread count of your sheets. You don't need to have it. Well, my God, how big is this dream board? I got a picture of a house. I got a picture of a bed. I got a picture of sheets. I got a picture of the wheels on the bed. I got the wheels on the bed go round and round, round and round. Little interlude, little afternoon interlude. We've been going for an hour. How about evolving your self-talk? How about evolving your self-talk? Your inner dialogue needs to support and uplift. Your self-talk needs to uplift your visionary status. Continue refining your self-talk using affirmations to align your vision and mindset, such as I am capable of creating change. Now, you see what happens here is that they've got the root chakra. So how many of you want to be visionary? So let's just close our eyes for a second and let's do what Heather taught us today. Imagine it, all of the chakras activated, and now you're the visionary and saying, I am a visionary. Feel it. I am, and it's in that red. I am a visionary. Did I say Heather? I did say Heather. Amber did it. Oh my, that is just, I heard it. Thank you, Christina. Amber gave it, so editing. Hey, listen, let's do a little exercise where we're going to do what Amber taught us earlier today. I am a visionary. That's safety. That's security. I do visionary activities. Sacred. I feel the visionary experiences. I love the visionary world. I speak visionary words. I see as a visionary sees. I understand the requirements of visionary life. Boy, that's a little different, isn't it? Isn't that a little different? Doesn't that literally change your self-talk? Strategic, here's the key, strategic networking. Visionaries need a network. How many of you ever heard the size of your net worth is determined by the size of your network? You need visionaries that will support your big dream. The challenge is you come back with this big dream and you're like, you see what I got? You see what I got? And nobody's running to help you lift it. You're like, see what I got? See what I got? See what I got? How many of you are crushed by your own dreams? Because you're talking to trailblazers and seed sowers going, help! And they're like, I'm a trailblazer. I told you I was going to be a visionary. I think I'm going back to seed sowing. That was easier. Identify key individuals or groups in your industry or community who can partner and provide valuable insights, opportunities for future vision opportunities. Here's a big one. Here's a big one. This is where a lot of us struggle. Ladies, this is where we struggle. I say we. I've been known, I'm the most woman man some people have known. Developing our influence. A visionary, your words and your actions have power to inspire others. Focus on ways to amplify your message. Bring it through public speaking. Bring it through publishing your thoughts. Bring it through starting purpose-driven initiatives. Developing your influence. Putting a post on social media that 2 people like is good. That's not developing your influence. And then balancing archetypal energies, balancing the archetype energies, using your understanding of the 4 archetypes to ensure that you're utilizing them. Could you imagine that if every time you show up to an event? What's an event? Everything in the 12 weeks with Sean Mastermind, 12 weeks, 80 plus videos, 12 weeks with Sean Mastermind, 12 weeks with Sean.com. When you show up at an event, everything's an event. Everything is an event. Everything is an event. So wouldn't you bring all of your archetypes to every event? What if you got so good at when somebody responded, you ran it through the archetypes and see who raises their hand? Ooh, let me answer that. Who wants to answer this? I ask that all the time. Who wants to answer this? This is where I get my downloads. My princess will show up and I go, is your princess, what would your princess say? It's because mine showed up and kicked me in the shin going, tell him to talk to me. Tell him to talk to me. As visionaries, it's crucial, it's critical to maintain a balanced approach, leveraging the wisdoms, the warrior's actions, the magician's wisdom, listen carefully, As a visionary, it's critical to maintain the balanced approach of leveraging the warrior's actions, the magician's wisdom, the lover's empathy, and the king or queen, your sovereign's leadership as required. What if all of a sudden the wisdom only came from the magician? The empathy only came from a lover. Your warrior could be empathetic. I'm so sorry, I'm going to hit you with my club. Probably not the response you want, right? The magician's empathy. Oh, I feel sorry for you. Poof, you're gone. That's probably that. I don't know. Is this good? Should I keep going? Should we wrap it up, or is this good? This good? Keep going? Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. Visionaries' actions. Fostering emotional intelligence. Being a visionary means not only managing your emotions, but also understanding and navigating the emotions of others. Could you foster, build, seed, sow emotional intelligence to others? How many of us never sow seed of emotional intelligence in others? We just go, I don't know why they don't get it. This would be so good for them. Listen, I'm the poster child that this would be so good for you. I don't know what you don't get. Here's a hard one for visionaries. Here's a hard one for visionary. Honoring your achievements. Taking time to acknowledge how far you've come and the transformations you've undergone. Celebrating your accomplishments not only fuels your confidence, but also reinforces the journey's purpose. But you want to know another big one? It lets people who become successful to know they can honor themselves. Could you imagine a trailblazer going, whoo, man, way to blaze a trail today, baby. Could you imagine giving the seed sower the level of honoring their achievements? What would a seed sower say if they came to a trailblazer? Well, I mean, all I do is sow seeds. It's kind of like somebody in the National Guard versus the quote military. Well, I'm just National Guard. No, you signed up for your ass to go anywhere at a moment's notice. There is nothing different, but they downplay. You got a visionary going, look what I've done. Look at my castle. Look at the beach view I have. That's not honoring your achievements. That's bragging. That's bragging. It's bragging. It's bragging. Here's another one. Do you think you're going to think differently as a visionary versus a seed sower? You'll have seed sowing visions, but as a visionary, your ideas change. So exploring neuroplasticity, diving deeper into understanding how you can further leverage your brain's ability. If you're not on any omega-3s or good water, I would encourage you to do that, to leverage your brain's ability to form new constructions and pathways. It's critical for visionaries and to keep evolving and adapting, called neuroplasticity. Maintaining mental toughness. Dive deeper into understanding how you can further leverage your brain's ability to form new connections. Develop how mental toughness allows you your mental resilience. See, you're going to need some new connections that say, I'm resilient. Visionaries will face challenges and resistance. Mental toughness will help you stay focused and motivated. Here we go again, redefining your secret sauce. Listen, my secret sauce has changed from the first time I did my secret sauce. It's your unique combination of skills. Here's the one we forget: our experiences and passions that have brought us to the visionary stage, the visionary age. We keep refining it. Remember the 4 ways to create income? Manipulation, motivation, collaboration. So you dig the ditch. There's the supervisor that digs the ditch. Then there's communication. Actors, authors, teachers, trainers, actors, authors, those who communicate, use their words and create multiple $1 million incomes. There's the rare manipulator. That's the basketball player. There's the rare manipulator. That's the doctor. That's the exception, not the rule. The coordinator. Coordination is the one who oversees it, the manager of the McDonald's. Then there's the communicator, the author, the Grishams, the people who make the movies, the guy who made Avatar and Avatar 2. Then there's the ones with imagination. Imagine if imagination and communication, you excelled at both of those. Maybe that would be the new secret sauce, imagination and communication. So if communication is where you're going to get paid a lot, maybe it's important to work on your voice. Because you can have the greatest heart in the world if nobody can hear it. You suffer. Keep refining and incorporating new skills and experiences and continue to grow and evolve. Remember that being a visionary is an ongoing journey, embracing challenges. You get paid to solve challenges. Oh, there's a challenge. Let me go this way. How many trailblazers do you say, ooh, that's a big tree. Let me go the other way. You get paid to solve the challenges. So what are some questions? What's a big picture or vision that you're aiming at, and how does it go beyond your personal or business goals? What affirmations are you currently using? What affirmations, what QLQs are you using to support your visionary status and uplift your self-talk? Who do I become when my self-talk invokes a positive energy field through me, within me, and on me at all times? Who do I become when my self-talk is so positive that people want to hang around me and listen to me talk to myself? Could you imagine that? Who do I become when my self-talk to me that I speak out loud becomes so positive, people just want to sit around and listen to me talk to myself? Who are the key individuals? Who are the key individuals? Who are the key individuals or groups in your industry or community you need to connect with to further your vision? Ask, right? The book by Mark Victor Hansen and Crystal Dwyer Hansen. Ask those people who are visionaries in your community to say, hey, how do I get a ticket? How do I get a seat on the wall, not at the table? How do I get a seat at the table at your next visionary meeting? How are you balancing and leveraging the energies of your warrior, magician, king, and sovereign? In what ways are you fostering your emotional intelligence to better navigate your emotions and the emotions of others? Can you list, oh, wow, I wonder why I put this in here. Can you list some significant achievements or transformations you've undergone that deserve celebration? How are you leveraging neuroplasticity? How do you sit down? One of the things that I love, and this is how I started taking notes differently, when somebody gives me a fact. So, fact, how do you list, can you list some significant achievements? Somebody would say, well, make sure you write down some significant achievements to show that you've got the evidence. I always turn it into a question. That's why there's a lot of questions, 111 pages of questions. Very little facts in here, very little tell you statements. This is mostly questions to begin to inspire you, because a question you can use whenever, a fact you're going to forget. How are you leveraging neuroplasticity to think new ways? What strategies are you using to employ and maintain and strengthen your mental toughness? And how are you constantly and continuously refining your secret sauce and expanding into new skills and combinations? So here's some of the emotions visionaries will feel. Elevation. Just sit right now. What would elevation mean? At this phase, you're starting to realize the greater impact of your actions, answering these questions and answering their questions and making them feel uplifted as they gain a clearer view of the heights they can reach. Can you teach elevation? The CQCE formula, clarify, qualify, create expectation. We could change it to create elevation. I think I'll change that. You were there when it changed. Empowerment, motivation, introspection. This is all in the book. You can read it. Enlightenment, fulfillment. Those are much different emotions than a seed sower. They're different emotions than a trailblazer. My daddy said it best. when we were running, when we had restaurants or when we had any of the businesses. I loved going to the restaurant because a lot of my customers were there, but then the workers, I love the restaurant business, but sometimes the workers, they're seed sowers. They're not visionaries. I mean, how much vision do you need to wash dishes? So I needed the alternative, and I would go wash dishes when they'd quit. My dad said, make sure you clock in. And I said, for what? He said, if you're doing a $5 an hour job, you get paid $5 an hour. You're paid to be a visionary. You're paid to solve challenges. Now, I understand in the rush of things, the heat of things, you go back there and you roll up your sleeves and you wash some dishes. But if you're going to be a dishwasher, you're going to put on the apron, and then you're $5 an hour. Your emotions are different.
Bonus time.
Which is why it was an escape for me. It's hard to be a visionary it's hard to be a new visionary. I got to speak enlightenment. I got to speak and feel fulfillment. I haven't been fulfilled since I had chocolate on my second birthday. I got to spend time in introspection. I got to motivate myself and others. Have you seen the friends I hang around with? Do you know how hard it is to motivate? And listen, Jim Rohn said it best. You motivate an idiot. What do you get? A motivated idiot. Some of you are motivating people thinking they're going to turn into Einstein. They're just going to turn into the bagel Einstein sells. So I want to read something to you because I get excited and forget things. In the past 3 days of the Secret Sauce Challenge, we've journeyed together into the depths of our inner world, shedding light on the hidden corners and illuminating paths that lead to our personal and professional growth. Each of you resonate with being a seed sower, a trailblazer, and a visionary. And you've shown tremendous bravery and unwavering commitment to uncovering your unique purpose and fulfilling and fueling your journey toward achieving your purpose-driven payday. One day, on day one, we began unraveling the complex layers of our addiction to approval and an unconscious, it's an unconscious and powerful force that holds us back from stepping into and achieving ourselves' true potential. We saw how addiction manipulates our action, how this addiction manipulates our actions and our thoughts and keeps us confined within the walls of our comfort zone and hinders us from making an impactful contribution to our lives and the lives of others. To counter this, we delved into mental toughness. We learned how strengthening our emotional resilience and enhancing our self-awareness can equip us to overcome this addiction to stand strong in our truth. From there, we journeyed into the realm of the archetypes, the warrior, the magician, the lover, the sovereign, and explored how they weave into our self-talk and shape our identities. By recognizing and understanding these archetypes, we've gained valuable insights into how they inform our behaviors, our decisions, and our reactions, allowing us to reshape self-talk, take control of our narrative, and steer our lives in the directions of our desires. On day two, we ventured into the path of dangerous consciousness, that intricate relationship with our self-talk and our archetypes. We uncovered how dangerous consciousness enables us to tap into and harness our personal energy, providing us the opportunity to sculpt our own consciousness, reshaping our narrative and forcing our path towards success. A significant revelation came through the understanding of the power of neuroplasticity and how it revolutionizes our capacity to rewire our brains and subsequently our lives. Through the use of QLQs, quantum linguistic questions, we unlock the potential to forge new neural connections, offering us fresh perspectives and pathways to our secret sauce. We then dove into EQ, appreciating its integral role in governing our personal and professional lives by giving us the ability to navigate the emotional landscape, grace and strength, and responding thoughtfully rather than,
No.
hang on just a second, and done. Rather than reacting impulsively. Finally, we dedicated the final day to synthesizing all of these lessons together. Through this course, through this challenge, we aimed at discovering and nurturing your unique secret sauce. This elusive concoction, a blend of skills, experiences, and passions and values, it is your distinctive strength. It's your ticket to standing out in a crowd. It's what you'll use to shape, to refine, and to maximize your journey to success. So as we draw to a close now, it is crucial to remember that the pursuit of growth and the development doesn't end here. The personal evolution is continual, a lifelong process that demands constant awareness, adaptability, and an open heart and an open mind to learning. Hold these lessons that you've learned, the insights gained and the self-discoveries made. Continue sowing seeds, blazing trails, and envisioning the reality to manifest. It's with all of this that I challenge you to set your compass to your purpose-driven payday. We've come to an end, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo! What'd you learn? What'd you like?
All of it.
Thank you, brother.
Woohoo!
Sean,
Secret Sauce Challenge is done. The first one's done. First one's the worst one. Can you imagine that? Go ahead, Sharon.
you did an amazing job this time. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if I were to integrate this into a talk like you had us do at the summit,
Yep.
how would my talk be different? What would my talk want to say? What would, like Daniela's post the other day was so quintessential. What would be the quintessential talk I'd give, kind of thing is going on in my brain. And the other thing that's going on, when you said gratitude like that, what came up for me was gratis. That gratitude is free. That's what, when you said I was just thinking about gratis and all the ways of gratitude fueling us. So that was what came up for me. And I loved every moment that I was able to participate. And you know me, I never listen to replays. I'm going to listen to the replay of this.
I love it.
So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whew. It's emotional.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know that I'm sure it's my evolution and my growth, but I don't know that I've poured so much into one thing.
Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you for having your camera on. You are a huge inspiration watching you. You're very animated. You and Michelle, both very animated. And Michelle would get up and she'd start moving and she'd start doing stuff. I can't tell you how important that is. I know this, watching the two of you and some others that are on here, you're going to make me make sure I have my camera on whenever I attend somebody's event. Some of it's go ahead.
I got a screenshot of you crying yesterday. I will send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And
Thank you.
Doug,
Thank you.
Doug,
Blackmail.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you, not thank you.
I won't do that.
No,
I wouldn't do that though. But then Doug was going to share a picture I don't know if he saw the chat earlier. You'd taken a picture the other day and you were going to share a picture on the last day with us. I'm just trying to tie up.
Oh no, it was a vision of something outside his yard.
Yeah. Was it his yard being a mile high by the 4th of July?
Could
Could have
be.
been. Could have been. You never know. Oh, he froze a
Okay.
sec. There we go.
Holy buckets, it's hot out here.
Yeah, it's 100 degrees here for sure.
Yeah, it's on 103. I don't want to go there.
Mhm.
Okay. The other day, it had literally gone from blue to green, which is exceptionally gross in a pool. But now it's back to
Ew.
blue.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's so
Isn't
hot.
that amazing?
That's awesome.
Well, it's because it got hot and yeah. Bottom line is though, intentional.
I love it.
Intentional.
Cool.
It was focused. And why is that important? Because I can literally go jump in about a half an hour and I will be ecstatic about that. So
Sound like
anyhow.
Sean. Sean can run to his lake or his pond.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love it, love it, love it. And what I really love, Doug, in addition to the pool, is the little the orange ball that I know is your puppy's favorite. So that's kind of
it is. And she's literally standing in close proximity. Oh no, she's not. She went and lay down in the sun.
aw. I love it.
So anyhow, just take this as a metaphor for one thing. Remember where blue is on your chakras. So keep that all moving forward. And I'm choked up and I don't even know why, but I actually do. I love to be the visionary and use my words to inspire people to the heights that they may not see. But along with Sean mentioning and being vulnerable, I'm going to partner up with him if he'll have me to make Rocket Creek Ranch be the powerhouse it deserves. Whole new vision. So it's got to come together. So just so you guys know that now it's put out to the universe. Can't take it back. And you know that's the first step, right?
It is. Yep.
All right. Thank you guys.
I love it, love it, love it. Well, the 6 tenets are the mental toughness, addiction to approval, secret sauce, purpose-driven payday, and my brain's a scramble. But so the 6 topics that we covered today were the tenets. Who else? What'd you learn? What'd you like? Yeah, that the schedule when it came out had them, and I didn't, and so I just put the schedule in. So those are the things we talk about, but I didn't go back and fix it. So when I do the final, I'll have all of that stuff in there. And what I'm going to be doing as well is taking each of these sessions and making them their own, so that if you wanted to go look for them, you just go, boop, okay, so there's that one. Who else? What'd you learn? What'd you like from this 3-day event? Or
Thank
from
you.
what I shared? Or...
Thank you, Sean. It's been action-packed. And it really could be a week or two long conference, right? Because so much information, and I missed a little bit here and there, but it was certainly, and it's things you talk about, but it was the expansion that you did on it, and also with Amber and Daniela expanding on their roles and their information, and how you're able to tie it all together as usual. So,
well, I was a little nervous after the 2 of them went, that what every speaker says is, well, I don't want to have to follow them. I'm glad. And Daniela did an amazing job following Amber. And then I had to follow the 2 of them. That's why I went, we're going to lunch first. I'm giving that a little bit of chance to settle, because that was some powerful stuff. Woo! I'm so glad I didn't have to go right after them, because I was emotionally drawn. So thank you,
Yeah.
Diane.
Thank
Is,
you.
is the woman who lives on the equator got a blanket on? Well, how cold is it there?
I have the air conditioning on, but it's a bit chilly for her.
It's 108 outside. Ooh, do you have, how do you say in English, blanket? I love you, Kayla.
Chilly.
Chilly. Oh, what temperature is it? Oh my gosh, that's like winter for us.
Yes. It's 76 here in the house.
But that's like a jacket day. Oh, ooh, chilly. I
It's-
love.
I was like, it's cold in here.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like
So
the
cool.
neighbor's looking at you funny because you got jeans on and it's like, it's 100 degrees outside, but yeah, but it's 76 inside and my AC works just fine.
I love it. Who else? What'd you learn? What'd you like? What's some big takeaways for you? What would be, so if you want.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Bob, go ahead, Bob Kane in the house.
So this old guy caught most of day one, none of day two, and the last 15 minutes of this day, as my days were blown up. But I am extremely grateful that you recorded it all, and I look so forward, because you know what? I felt it. I felt what was going on, even though I wasn't listening to it or seeing it. And just, you know, my days happen what they happen, and I will get the info, I will get the feeling, but I already felt the energy. So
Now,
thank you all who.
When you watch Amber and Daniela's conversation today, they didn't just double their capability and capacity. They knocked it out of the park. It was amazing.
Well, they are two amazing souls, and very wise of you to ask them to join you.
I love it, love it, love it.
They're truly gifts from God, for sure.
Vicky, I see your hands up.
Yes. Like Bob, I wasn't on most of it because I was going back and forth for medical stuff. But a question came up, and I don't know if now we can ask questions.
Sure.
But what seemed to have happened is the theme that kept coming forward is, I want to be cherished, not tolerated. And somehow, with all that was going on in the background, my marriage is falling apart. With all the efforts that I thought were loving, I've watched them be interpreted as tolerance. And the experience that I've seen this before, but it becomes so painful not to be tolerated that I keep saying, how does one hold for the person who's not tolerating you and still hold for oneself? So that I don't allow, even if he has to leave me, that I don't collapse and let the diseases take over, because I want and choose to live. So I'm raising it because never has it reached this level. And I don't think it's coincidence that I would tap in moments, and every time I would, it just seemed to bring it all to a head. And I'm not sure how to work with it so that I can take care of me and still be in my loving.
Well, if you take care of you and love you, aren't you in your loving?
It doesn't feel that way.
Well, let's
Feels
work on getting.
selfish.
Yeah, but
I
it,
feel
it
selfish.
but it's not, because if you love him and don't take care of you, there you won't be around to love. So it's
Yes, I know that.
So it's self-full. Say it's self-full. And when you're filled up, all of the joy, all of this joy, all of the experience, all the love that everybody has for you, it's filling up you. And once you allow it to fill up you, you kind of plug the holes where all of this love and joy seeps out, then you can begin to overflow. And then the loving becomes it becomes natural. So part of this is not allowing you to feel that you have to be two kinds of loving. The secret sauce is that when you love you, you wind up loving everyone. Most people that we see, most people that we encounter, most people that we bump into don't even love themselves, and it comes across that way.
I think that's what's becoming clear, is that I've never, and I kept thinking it was happening more and more, but I apparently don't love myself more than I thought I was moving towards loving myself.
So you can't condemn yourself up until this acknowledgement right now and say, well, I should have, because that's the past. There's nothing you can do in the past. You can only bring the future more present. And the way you bring them future more present is you start in the loving right now. What state would you be in if you began to love yourself more right now, and more right now, and more right now, and a little more right now? Principle of Kaizen, 1% and better every time you think about it. How would you be feeling? How would you be feeling yourself? How would you be feeling?
As I hear that, and I'm saying that, it's what's coming up is what I'd be feeling is it's not safe. It's not safe for me to tune into all the things of mentoring that you give, which right now is
but you
my
know that's
lifeline.
Hang on, but you're talking, don't tell me about your nightmares, tell me about your dreams. You've tuned into my mentorship and sat here and laughed with us. You've sat here and been the joy. You've been the aloha. You've been the lifting your shirt, going skinny dipping in the pond. You've already fallen in love with the mentorship. You stopped realizing that it's okay for you to do that. You're letting somebody else's low spirit say you have to be in a low spirit. I would encourage you to not go there. You're going through more things. You're having the treatments done. You're experiencing this. Your environment's changing. There's challenges. There's the driving. There's the delay. There's the waiting. There's all these things that are going not right or not perfect or not on time, which now allows you the opportunity to fall out of love with you. So I'll ask you a question. How many RCPs did you send today?
None.
Okay, so start today. Guess what? You get to send an RCP. Say, I get to send an RCP.
I get to send an RCP. I love doing the RCP.
I know. Who would you send one to?
Everybody that touches me in the moment.
Okay.
You always, certain people always, and then I'm trying, and it's a trying because I want everyone to be seen and valued and known, so that I'm going through and choosing people who hadn't
hang on,
been done by me.
Hang on. Let's start with the mirror. Be seen yourself. Every time you send an RCP, say, I did that. I did that. I did that for me. Do the RCP. Say, I did that RCP was for me. I know they got it, but it was really for me. That was my RCP. I get to go give another RCP now.
I do feel that every time I do them.
So here's what I want. Here's what I want you to do. If it's easy enough, I want you to hang up. I want you to jump off here. We're not going to say anything really breathtaking, powerhouse. It'll probably just be me talking, rambling. I want you to go give an RCP, and I want you to come right back.
Okay.
I want you to go give it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that face. You're going to go give an RCP. So go give an RCP and then come back.
Okie dokie. I can do that.
All right. I love you.
See you in a little bit.
See you in a moment.
Thank you.
I love it. So who else? What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Hey,
Hey,
I just choked on my own spit.
I thought you were going to be, I just choked on my words. No, I just choked on my spit. Thanks. Really made me, I thought I had reached.
Thanks for that belly laugh.
I
my
thought I
God.
was going to reach the pinnacle of my life. I'm going to talk to Sean and I'm going to get all choked up. I just choked on my spit. What the fuck? What?
Really? Do not be swearing, Mr. Sean. There's children in the room.
What the friggity frackety, sickety sackety. And she sounded like it. I thought, oh my gosh, Daniela's going to be crying while she's talking. No, I just choked on my spit. Oh my God.
At least I made you laugh, okay?
Well, that'll be in the bloopers reel. I'm cutting that out.
Oh, Lord. I went to go say something and I completely choked. That was a cue from the universe to shut it. One second.
Why is Jameson barking outside my door? Because somebody put the doggy door in.
Okay, I'm back. I'm no longer choking. This whole event has really transformed me, has transformed my vision, has opened up my ability to see my worth. And it came in, it's okay, Chalo. It's okay. And it came in perfect timing. Because I think I wrote it to Christina today, actually. I'm in a weird spot in my life. Or I was, I'm not no longer. I have a very clear vision of how I'm going to do this. But I was in a spot where I wanted to retract and completely retract, meaning maybe I'm just meant to be, a mom. And then I would hear things in the back of my head. There's nothing wrong. Let me get that out there. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom and taking care of your children and, doing all the great things that come along with that. I'm not it, nor was I ever it. And I knew that from a very, very young age, that I was not that person. Well, even when I didn't need to work, I worked 2 to 3 jobs. Because I knew I was meant for more. I didn't know that, that didn't mean you go get another bartending job. It meant to figure something else out. But these past 3 days, gave me clarity on not only action steps that is a must. It's not even get to, it's a must. The non-negotiables are very clear. Yes, I negotiated my non-negotiable last night, but that's okay. It was for a good cause. But I'm not meant to fit in this damn box. And yes, I've known that, but I don't know how to articulate into words of how I'm feeling, of really acknowledging that box is no longer there. That I've paid the price. And I'm worthy of being heard. So actually, it's not even voluntarily. Let's go there for a moment. Having somebody like you in my life to push me is an absolute honor. Green. because it's funny. I find